Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer.com. Today on our 2018 Toyota Sienna, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the etrailer.com Class 3 2-inch trailer hitch receiver. Many of our Sienna customers use their vans for a little bit of everything, and this hitch is going to be perfect for that. It's very versatile, so whether it be towing or using it for accessories like a bike rack or cargo carrier, it's going to work great. Now, compared to some of the other hitches, this one is going to be a little more visible, and it's not going to give us as much ground clearance. However, it is going to be really easy to use since everything is so open here. Our hitch is going to have that 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening, and it's also going to have a reinforced collar for extra strength. It is going to have the standard 5/8 size pinhole. Now keep in mind, the pin and clip is not included. However, if you need one, you can find it here at etrailer.com. It's going to have plate style safety chain openings, and the openings aren't huge, but they do give us enough room to use just about any size hook that we might have. Our hitch is going to give us some pretty good clearance. The end of the receiver tube is going to be about flush with the bottom edge of our bumper. And so what that means, you really shouldn't have any issues with your folding accessories. And I personally really like the look of it compared to the other ones available. Our hitch is going to give us some pretty good weight capacities. When it comes to the maximum gross tongue weight rating, it's going to be 350 pounds. That's going to be the amount of weight pushing down on our hitch. So that's going to work good for those 2 and 3, maybe even 4 bike racks. Now when it comes to the maximum gross trailer weight rating, it's going to be 3,500 pounds, the amount of weight pulling on our hitch. So that's the weight of your trailer plus anything you might have on it. Now this hitch can be used with the weight distribution system, which is a separate component, and if you use that, the weight capacities do increase. The maximum gross tongue weight rating goes up to 500 pounds, and the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes up to 5,000 pounds. However, it is always a good idea to check with your Toyota's owner's manual to make sure your van can pull that much weight. Now if you do plan on doing some towing, I'd recommend getting some trailer wiring. That way you can be safe and legal as you're towing your trailer down the road. Now I'm going to give you a couple of measurements. You're going to use these to help figure out which hitch mounted accessories to get. From the ground to the top inside edge of our receiver tube opening, that's about 11 inches. So chances are pretty good you're going to need to get a ball mount with a rise. From the center of the hitch pinhole to the edge of our rear bumper, that's going to be about 4.5 inches. And you're going to use that to figure out if any folding accessories you might have can be stored in the upright position without contacting the bumper. Many of our customers were proud of their ability to easily install a hitch. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and put it on together now. To begin our installation, we're going to need to remove our underbody panel. Now what we're going to take out first is a handful of white push pin fasteners. To get these removed, we're just going to take a small flathead screwdriver and get underneath the head of it and work it down, get underneath the base and pull it out completely. There's going to be a total of 8 of these white push pin fasteners. Now we're going to have a total of 4 of these plastic Phillips head style twist nuts. And so we'll just loosen all these up. They won't fall down or anything like that. We just want to give them a few turns to the left to help unseat them. And now we're going to have 5 10mm bolts that we're going to have to take out here at the edge of the bumper. Now keep in mind, when you remove all these, our splash guard will no longer be supported, so you're going to want to use your hand, that way it doesn't fall on top of you. Now if it doesn't drop down right away, you may have to come back with your Phillips head and on these twist knobs, kind of just give light pressure pulling down on the splash guard and unseat these a little more. Once we have it off, we can set it over to the side. Now we're going to need to lower our exhaust, but before we do that, I'm going to use a support strap to run from one side to the other That way we have a little bit of control on how fast our exhaust comes down. Now we're going to have a rubber isolator hanger here a little bit before the end of our tailpipe, and that's what we're going to have to remove. Now I went ahead and sprayed it down with some soapy water to make it a little easier, or you can use some general purpose lubricant to do the same thing. We'll take a pry bar and work that rubber portion of the hanger off the tailpipe. Now on our frame rail, we're going to have 3 stickers and 1 rubber plug that we're going to have to take off. To get the plug, just take a flathead and just pop it out. And as far as the stickers go, just use a razor or your fingernail. Just be really careful and peel those off. Now the other side is set up the same way, so we're going to repeat that process over there. With our stickers out of the way, I'm going to use a tube brush to clean out the threads and our weld nuts. Now I went ahead and sprayed them down with some penetrating oil just to help clean them out. And keep in mind, from this point on, anything we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. Now at this point, if you wish to reuse and reinstall your underbody panel, you would have to trim it out. That way our hitch can go through it and bolt up into place. Now in our particular case, our customer just opted just to leave it off, but I'd still like to show you how you would cut it if you do want to reuse it. There is a diagram in the instructions, and I went ahead and just marked it here to give you an idea. To cut this, you could use a utility knife, a Dremel tool, or even a pair of snips. Now if you did trim your panel, what you would do is take your hitch, the driver's side of it, and where this opening would be, you would actually slide it over our flat portion here on our hitch, and then we lift both the hitch and the underbody panel up into place. Now with an extra set of hands, we can lift our hitch into place. Be sure to go over your tailpipe. Then we can line the holes up with the hitch, with the holes in the frame, and secure it using a bolt and a conical tooth washer. Make sure the teeth on the washer face up towards the hitch. We want to get one started on each side. That way the hitch will support itself while we work on finishing the rest of the bolts. Now with all of our hardware in place and hand tight, we can go ahead and snug it all down. Now using a torque wrench, we can torque all of our hardware down to the specification and the instructions. Now we can push our exhaust back up and slide it back into the hanger. And finally, we can remove our support strap. And that'll do it for our look at and our installation of the etrailer.com Class 3 2-inch trailer hitch receiver on our 2018 Toyota Sienna.